I don't want to rearrange the tax code. I don't want to make government more efficient. I want to reduce government to the absolute minimum so that you're free to live your life as you want to live it, not as the politicians think is best for you. Government's huge because the politicians can always find some political interest group to support every increase in government. And you and I, who pay the bills, are largely non-political. That is, we don't lobby in Washington. We don't spend all our time plotting to use government, or even to stop it from growing. And so the politicians win by default, and government grows by default. Today, people feel so powerless that the majority have stopped voting altogether. They see no hope of getting government back under control. But there is hope. There is a way to get your life back. Minimum government and maximum liberty made America so different from every other country, so much freer, so much more prosperous. I want to bring back that uniquely American system. I want you to be free of the Social Security system that's putting 15% of your income into a retirement scheme that's going bankrupt. Most Americans want government to leave them alone. And the key to achieving what we want is the great libertarian offer, which is a proposal to restore freedom to America and liberty to your life. When you reach retirement age, do you think you'll receive Social Security benefits?
No. No. It makes me mad because I already pay Social Security, you know, in my little summer jobs. And yeah, there's definitely not going to be any left for me.
I hope to, but at this point I doubt it.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
No, I do not. No. No, I don't.
No. No. No.
Does anybody?
I hope so. Do I believe it? Yeah, but I don't think I'm going to get as much as my parents got.
We're certainly not getting what we put in.
It won't last that long. They're talking about already there's not enough money there.
I'm kind of worried about that because I'm 3 years from retirement. I'm very concerned.
If I depend on the government, I will be out there holding a cup, asking for handouts, okay? That's what the government will do for me.
Social Security gives you nothing you can count on because virtually everything you pay into the system is spent immediately by the politicians. They spend your money on other people's retirements, on programs to get themselves reelected, on propping up the Russian ruble for another half hour. But the one thing they won't do is to put your money into a separate account with your name on it to secure your retirement. So if you're receiving Social Security benefits today, the money is actually being taken from younger people, perhaps your own children and grandchildren, and the supply of money is running low. Despite what you hear, there is no budget surplus, and no politician is doing anything to save Social Security. In fact, they're continuing to take money from Social Security to make it look like there's a budget surplus.
So what's the answer?
Well, if you're retired, you shouldn't have to depend on politicians taking more and more money away from your children and grandchildren. In place of Social Security, I want you to have your own individual account with a private company that can guarantee to deliver a lifetime income to you without fail. The politicians will never be able to touch that account or cut it or borrow from it for their pet programs. It will belong to you and you alone.
Where will the money come from?
Well, fortunately, the government has enormous assets that serve no constitutional purpose whatsoever. It owns hundreds of thousands of buildings, power companies, pipelines, military bases that are no longer used, large quantities of commodities, and much more. There's no constitutional reason for the federal government to own these assets. They should be sold to individuals and companies who can make good use of them. And the first proceeds from the sale should buy lifetime retirement accounts for everyone who's dependent on Social Security today or who is retiring soon. These will be guaranteed accounts from stable financial companies who have always honored their contracts, unlike the politicians who change the rules to suit themselves.
All right, well, what about the people like me who haven't retired yet? How about all the money we've put into the system?
Well, unfortunately, the politicians have already spent all of that money. So the question is, what would be better for you and for them from here on? So let's ask people. Would you rather continue paying into Social Security and let the politicians control your money? Or would you prefer to keep your money and save it on your own?
I'd rather save it on my own.
Save it on my own.
Keep it and save on my own.
I would rather keep the money and save it on my own. I would like to be able to do with my money what I wish to do with my money at all times if I'm the one working for it.
I would rather not let the government try and deal with my money because I think they'll try and swindle me somehow.
Well, I think we all would have been better off if we were able to control our own money. I think most of us would have done much better.
I think if I was going to start over today, I'd put it in a private retirement account.
Definitely a private account.
A private retirement account. I think it's more secure because then I have access to it and nobody else.
If you're working now, you pay 15% of your income to Social Security, either directly or through your employer. Even if Social Security does survive until you retire, you'll get back only about $1,200 a month, with no capital to leave to your children. But if you're under 50, eliminate the 15% Social Security tax, and you'll have more than enough time to provide a real retirement for yourself, with an income of several $1,000s a month. Plus, you'll accumulate $500,000 or more to leave to your children. You can do this without even being an astute investor. 5 years ago, Social Security was supposed to be the untouchable program. But today, even the politicians admit the system is going broke. And so they talk about saving Social Security, even as they go on squandering your Social Security money. Eventually, they'll try to fix the system by raising taxes and reducing benefits. What I'm offering is something totally different. I want your future to be completely independent of political promises. If you're already retired, I want to insulate you from the inevitable collapse of Social Security. If you're still working, I want to free you from the oppressive 15% Social Security tax. This is one benefit of the great libertarian offer.